So I was just checking my folder today, and I'm talking to my editor. I'm like, hey, where's the viewers' comments for May 3rd? And he's like, you didn't send the video, dude. And I'm like, what? So I'm thinking I did shoot it. I know I shot it. It's probably sitting on my SD card, my CFast card, actually, back in Windsor. And I brought the portable camera that only takes SD cards. So, yeah, here I am shooting this episode yet again because whenever I don't put out a viewer's comments, you guys go, Glenn, what's going on? So I want to make sure you guys are taken care of. You guys have your weekly dose of musician shenanigans.
You mean shenanigans?
So let's do it. Let's kick out the jams.
Aren't Court Guitars the company that got busted using slave labor?
No, the company you're thinking of was McDonald's, and that happened down in Alabama.
You're getting dangerously close to revealing that 99% of all guitars are made by Court or Samick.
Shh! Don't tell anyone!
If you want a quality North American-made guitar, check out Godin. Much more affordable than most U.S.-made guitars and even some imports. Their models can not only be very metal-oriented, but they can deliver. So please, for the love of Crom Glenn, check out Godin Guitars.
Hey, you know what? I reached out to Godin. I said, hey, let's do something, and we talked back and forth, but we just couldn't come to any kind of an agreement. So even though I'd like to feature Godin on the show, it's not happening. If you guys really want to see a Godin review on this show, hit up their website. Let them know.
Maybe we don't insist on being dumb. The problem is that we are interested, but the information is gatekept or stuck inside so much misinformation that unless you have the context, you never get any confirmation as to whether what you are learning is correct. This is why the industry is flooded with egomaniacs and people who are super interested are fed misinformation and laughed at for being misinformed. I spend every single waking hour of my day thinking about my craft, and the people in the industry would rather take me for a ride than recognize that I would die before I do anything else. Completely gatekept industry.
Dude, what an interesting perspective. I've never really looked at it like that. Thank you so much for writing that. Okay, I'm going to try and keep that in mind because, yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. What you're saying there is that the guitar tone, recording, all that kind of stuff is very gatekept. And I think most of the information out there about recording guitar is actually told by guitar players and as opposed to, you know, guys who are trying to record metal. I mean, like for the longest time, when it came to recording metal guitars, there was just like no information out there whatsoever. And if there was information about recording guitar, it had nothing to do with metal or recording high gain or anything like that. So you want to talk about gatekept, into gatekept, it's like Inception level gatekept information. It was definitely recording guitar metal. And that's why the Andy Sneap forum kind of took off in 2005 like it did, because a whole bunch of us were trying to figure out how the fuck do we make this work? So I will try and keep that in mind when it comes to doing tutorials in the future, that yes, a lot of the information you guys are looking for probably has been gatekept in one form or another. But I have to stress, I don't have a problem with people asking questions. I have a problem with people making statements and assuming that they're absolutely correct. The simple truth is we're all making this up as we go along, and the people who pretend they know what they're doing, they're the liars.
Honestly, of the hours of videos I've watched on YouTube, this one probably taught me more than the rest combined. Amazing demonstrated facts. I thought the Jesus sounded great. Nice job, man. Also, great tip on the hum note and Morley box. Great innovations I'll be passing on to my friends.
And once again, it's about not gatekeeping all the really cool information. Seriously, it's all about just working by process of elimination and figuring out what works. Of course, that video is the worst thing to ever happen to metal, and it was about the Vintage 30 and saying, hey, we can try different ideas, we can look at different speakers and get some different tones that way. And this is the thing, I'll talk about gatekept information. Guys, guitar speakers are not flat. They're not designed to be like studio monitors to give you the cleanest signal possible. No, guitar speakers color your sound in very distinct ways from speaker to speaker to speaker, and they can be really cool. So it definitely makes sense to mix and match and try a few different ideas. I'm just coming off a viewer's comments from last week where somebody suggested about possibly doing a Glenn Fricker signature speaker. And I talked to a couple manufacturers, and there might be some interest in that. We're going to probably play around with a couple of designs and just see if it's even possible before I make any kind of announcement. But I'm just saying it isn't a definite no at this point. So that is freaking cool. Keep your eyes peeled. If I can make it happen, I'll make it happen. Might be really great. And in the meantime, one of the ways how this show keeps rolling is through my company, Spectre Digital. We've got all kinds of cool stuff like Extinction Level Event 2.0, Singularity Bass, and of course, Element Bass, which winds up on all of my mixes. And I'm just super thrilled with the way it sounds. If you haven't grabbed yourself a copy, it'd be a lot cooler if you did. Anyway, let's move on to the butthurt of the week.
I hate this guy. Of course, when the sound wave is oversaturated and compressed, many circuits produce the same result. That will only vary based on speaker selection. However, when you take the distortion down and the saturation exists on different places of the frequency spectrums, amps have a different character. Put Brian Setzer on a Mesa Fillmore. Put Eric Clapton on a PB Classic. Then tell me there isn't a difference. Dude, whatever. They pay you as much on this channel. It's too much.
I hate this guy. He's talking about metal tones on a metal production channel. The nerve!
Thank you for showing the logical fallacy of the appeal to authority. Perfect example of how to scientifically investigate a claim.
I just want to learn what works. I'm sorry if, Joe X with 8 million records sold said it must be like this. I want to test his method to see if there's actually any truth to it, or maybe he missed something. Just because somebody did something great doesn't make them right all the time. Always keep that in mind, folks.
By the way, I think it's far more to test them clean from an ultra-processed or highly produced metal is not really great for reference.
Unless, of course, we're trying to teach people how to record heavy metal.
I don't really see how it's fair to test something like tone wood on heavily distorted high-gain setups. Obviously, tone wood makes a difference. My mahogany Martin doesn't sound like a Cedar Springs Corona. So honestly, to only focus on the expensive gear and the most artificial tones is kind of missing the point entirely of fair testing what actually affects the tone. Perhaps it's just a case of the more you turn the gain up, the more advanced your amp is, you don't notice things that others do on different types of setups.
Once again, we're doing a metal production channel. We want to learn how to record metal tones. And yeah, thanks for mentioning the Mahogany Martin and Spruce Cardona. Are you talking about solid body electrics or are we talking about acoustic guitars? I think you're talking about acoustic guitars. I'm talking about solid body electrics. The whole tone wood thing is absolute bullshit on solid body electrics. But don't take my word for it. Read Electroacoustic by Dr. Manfred Zoller. I'm not appealing to authority here. I'm appealing to scientific research. This guy did a paper, this guy published, and he put it up for reference for review. So I'd maybe say try reading some of that first before making bold claims about tone wood, especially when it comes to solid body electrics. For acoustic guitars, there's no debate. Of course, you can pull up different guitars and they'll sound differently acoustically. Hell, you can do that with a solid body electric. They sound vastly different from guitar to guitar to guitar. That is until you plug them in. Then the guitar takes on the sound of the amplifier. And then that's filtered through the speaker. That's the important part, guys. That's the part the rest of the world hears. Nobody cares about how it sounds when you're playing with yourself.
What would you say is the best budget speaker, glad than being a really shitty modeling Behringer GM110 that uses a Jensen speaker? I think modeler speakers, I don't think changing the speaker would help. I imagine Jensen is supposed to be flat for purposes of modeling. But if ever managed to upgrade, what would you recommend in the around 100-pound range? I'm in the UK.
Yeah, when it comes to a modeling amp, you want to use a flat frequency response speaker, so that way you can run impulses through it. Again, guitar players, okay? It's very, very, very important that if you're running a guitar cab with your amp modeler, okay, and you've got like some Celestions in there or something like traditional guitar speakers in that cab, don't run impulses through it because you're basically going to be double impulsing and it's going to sound like crap. Either get some flat frequency response speakers so you can change the impulses or turn the impulses off and go through the speaker. That being said, if you do want some killer speakers that aren't going to break the bank, go with Mojotone. They're about $110 a speaker at Sweetwater. Absolutely phenomenal stuff. My personal favorite right now is the BV30H. It's the heavyweight 30 speaker. It is absolutely stellar. It's got this killer top end. You guys have been hearing it on the show an awful lot. Super thrilled with Mojotone. Can't recommend it enough. And no, they're not paying me to say that in this episode. Sorry for the abrupt change in hairstyle. I literally did a whole take of this again, and then Pro Tools had the wonderful idea to just fucking crash when I hit stop. What in the fuck, Avid? Seriously, you call this the fucking industry standard? I call your software a fucking joke. What the fuck, you guys? No, Reaper's not pro, Reaper's not pro. Pro Tools isn't pro. Generally, the idea is when you record something, you get to play it back. That's the whole fucking thing. Why would your software crash after recording a simple monologue file? What the actual fuck? I'm so goddamn fucking stressed out right now. Fuck's sakes, I gotta get on a fucking airplane instead. I gotta fuck around with this shit. Now let's hear some real wisdom from Robert Taylor Bronco.
You do offer some great tips, and when it comes to the speaker thing, you're full of shit.
Oh, fuck off, Robert.
Speaker swap outs really don't make that much of a difference either.
Are you fucking deaf?
Unless you swap out good speakers for shite speakers, the results can still be easily dialed in to get basically the same tone.
Not even remotely close to being true.
Especially when applying low and high pass filters anyway.
Nope, not true. Not true, even close. We can literally fucking measure the differences. So, I don't know, maybe get some data to back up your claims there, Robert.
The biggest difference you can make is actually swapping the guitar pick you use for a soft nylon pick for a hard plastic pick. Will increase the gain in attack and change the EQ curve quite significantly. But hey, maybe one day you'll learn to play well enough to think about it and notice.
Really, changing your pick is going to change the EQ curve. Do you have any evidence whatsoever to back that shit up? I don't see any links. I don't see any fucking evidence at all. Here's an idea, Robert. Try backing up what you have to say with some actual fucking evidence. Evidence, or shut the fuck up. That's the name of the game. Not just blow crap out of your asshole and expect us to believe it. It's some magical fairy dust. Doesn't fucking work that way.
Glenn, just let them spend money. This kind of videos should have changed by at least $500 to see. Cheers and thank you so much for your time and urge to help. You're a great person. Cheers and keep up the good work.
3-day waiting period, but I'm mad now. Anyway, yeah, okay, I do appreciate the kind words, man. Here's the thing, though. I'm more than happy to share all this information for absolutely free. I'm making discoveries, and I'm sharing along the way. That's the whole idea. It's like, hey, let's figure out what really works here. Maybe a pick type will change the tone on an acoustic guitar. Not debating that. And acoustically in your lap might change that, too. But on a recorded signal, that's what we're concerned about. We're concerned about what the rest of the world is hearing. I'd want to see some graphs on that. Let me know if any of you guys ever cooked those up. Why am I still going on about the last one? Narand, thank you so much. I do appreciate it.
Glenn, what do you think of control surfaces, i.e. phone, tablet, specific hardware for recording in a home studio setup? I would love to hear your take on this.
I actually had a Mackie Control Universal back in about 2000. I was running it on with Cakewalk, actually. But when I switched over to Saw Studio, it was so efficient, I wound up just using the mouse and keyboard instead, so I wound up selling it. I don't know what the control surfaces are like these days. I mean, I'm going to defer to the audience expertise on that one because I just simply don't know if you guys are using control surfaces. You know, leave a comment below. Let us know. Do you find it helps your workflow? Does it help you get work done faster? I mean, like me, I put it in the Neve console. Believe me, I can get mixes done a whole lot faster. It's an incredible interface, but it's a pretty significant investment as well. I don't know about the smaller desktop stuff. I'd like to take a look at some of the SSL stuff. They look pretty cool. I don't know how they would help in a day-to-day, though. That's something definitely worth being investigated. You guys using control surfaces? Let us know. I want to hear what you think.
Glenn, one of my favorite lines from you is, all you have to do is play as awesome as you think you are. It's very true, and it's pretty deep saying the more you dig into it. Thanks for doing the show, Glenn.
Thank you very much for watching, and thanks for subscribing. And all you cheap bastards out there who are too lazy to just hit the subscribe button, all you gotta do is press it. It doesn't cost you anything. It's your favorite thing in the world. It's free. All right, guys, that's the end of my second attempt here at Trey's studio. Thank you so much, Trey, for the loaning of your gear. Yeah, that just put my stress levels through the roof. Nothing like having to have stuff done. You think you got everything done, and then realize it's not done. You have to do it again, and then you get it done, and then you hit stop, and then your Pro Tools crashes because it's a gigantic pile of dog shit, and then you have to do it again. Fuck! Work on Pro Tools, they say. It's the professional, you think, they say. It's the industry standard. Fuck off. What a raging pile of dog shit. Anyway, that's it for me this week. You know, if you're considering getting Pro Tools, maybe not. Get a program that'll actually work. Go get yourself a copy of Reaper. Anyway, you guys have an amazing weekend. I gotta go chill the fuck out. Take it easy, guys.